This is the second of two videos that demonstrate how using the general ToolSmart digital angle finder, which is a low-cost, commercially available tool to determine angles, can be used as a digital goniometer. Angles then can be uploaded into a computer into a patient's medical record or can be printed out later. This will be a demonstration of using a volunteer of how this device works. First of all, a review from the first video. This is the general ToolSmart device. If you notice, it does have some interesting features that are not electronic. These are levels, both levels horizontally as well as vertically. These might come in useful sometimes when you're seeing patients to make sure everything is lined up appropriately. This is the part of the device that you will be using primarily, as it shows the digital angle as well as the buttons to turn on and off, as well as to pair to your phone or other Bluetooth enabled device so that you can store the angles as a text file. This is a close-up view of the part of the general ToolSmart digital angle finder that you will be using primarily. This shows the angles in the window as well as the buttons to turn on and off, as well as the Bluetooth button to pair to your phone, as well as to select the angle that you want to store on the phone. This is the app that is running at this time. What you do first is to type in the area of the body that you want to get the angle of, and then when you push the Bluetooth button on the general ToolSmart angle finder, it will automatically put it into the phone under the ToolSmart app. So now we have our volunteer relaxing on the table, and we will get started using the ToolSmart device to measure first the ankle dorsiflexion, then the knee. So we now have the ToolSmart device ready to go. So as I said before, the level sometimes is useful because then you can get a good idea of whether the leg in this case is level on the table, and use that as the 0 mark. Alright, then we're going to bring the device over to the foot and align it up with the side of the foot using standard techniques. In this case, I think I'm going to bring up the ToolSmart off the surface. Alright, so right now we have, just in a resting position, about 11 degrees of plantar flexion, just as the person is relaxed. Now we're going to check the dorsiflexion and see how far we can bring it up, having the person be as relaxed as possible, and then holding that position we can push the button and it automatically sends it to the angle finder app on the iPhone. as you can see, both the I moved this probably a little bit after I let go, but they're basically the same measurement, 72.4 and 72.7 on the angle finder. Again, these are able to be saved, and then they can be put into the medical record later. So that one is saved. Now we're going to do another measurement. So what you do first is put in whatever it is you want to measure, the name of it. In this case, we're going to have knee flexion. Okay, so let's bring this back down to 0 again. Move over to the knee. Whatever it is you want to measure, the name of it. In this case, we're going to have knee flexion. Okay, so let's bring this back down to 0 again. Move over to the knee. Now we're going to take measurements of the right knee. You always want to start out with this being at 0 as much as possible, just so you don't get a fraction of an angle that's not correct. Alright, in this case we can set up ahead of time. Alright, so what we're going to do is see if there's any restriction in knee flexion in a relaxed position. So in this case, we want to make sure there's no rotation at the hip when we do the measurements. Okay, and then holding near the top here, you can see how much knee flexion is available in a relaxed position, and then you push the blue button and we get 48 degrees both on the Tool Smart as well as on the Angle Finder app. And it automatically saves after you put push the Bluetooth button on the Tool Smart, and it sets it up ready for another angle, and you can type in this case, let's do knee extension. Knee extension, okay, and do this. Now normally there's not very much knee extension, okay, so again we set this up at the hip, and as you can see, things are pretty straight here. But then we can kind of pull up a little bit and get that angle. Well, another good way to do this is to reverse directions here. And start out with this being here. maybe possibly on the ground with the level at 0, parallel to the lower leg, and that way we can move this angle up like that and get the knee extension. Again, keeping that at level, keeping this here, we get, let's see, make sure this is level again. And it obviously is helpful to have more than one person to help you, but as you can see, it can be done by yourself. Just have to reach around to be able to push the button after you get everything lined up. Okay, and you can see here the knee extension is 13.6 both on the ToolSmart as well as the in this case the Android app called Angle Finder. That concludes how to use the general ToolSmart, which is a low-cost commercial device, as a digital goniometer that will store the information in a text file that can then be put into a medical record or printed out.